Hello everyone, this is Moxie Matt. Thanks for joining me on another career episode. Today we are doing the Festive Funlands, and looks like we're going to have to deal with some loans and possibly some scenery. So let's go ahead and get started. It's a very interesting layout. Looks like our borders are pretty big, but it's kind of like the house from one of the earlier, I think, easy or medium objectives. Looks like it's all scenery. Doesn't look like there's any rides. We can go check that sort of stuff out. There are no rides or of any sort. See what kind of loans we've got here. We've already got one loan going, so I'm going to pause the game. There are some additional loans that we can add. Let's check out some objectives. So for easy, we've got to attract 400 guests and achieve a scenery rating of 50. Medium is 800 guests and a scenery of 100, and hard is 1600 guests and pay off all loans. So for a hard career mode, that doesn't seem to be too terribly difficult. I guess we'll find out if it is or isn't here in a minute. Let's check on some of the rides that we have available. Just got some wood coasters, no track rides, and just a handful of regular rides. And just like some basic drinks and a couple of food stores. Just going to kind of take another overview of the park, kind of see what direction we might want to go into. Doesn't look like there's any real way to get up here for the scenery. All the scenery is of course locked, so we won't be able to move any of it or do anything like that. Usually like having some starting scenery count for queue lines. Don't think that's going to be the case in this episode though. I guess we'll just get started placing some normal rides. So I'm going to go ahead and jump through placing a couple of these, and I'll catch you guys back in a few minutes. Alright, I've got a couple rides put down, so I'm going to go ahead and unpause the game and let some customers start coming in and hopefully spending some money so we can get a little bit more money to work with. So I don't think adding a loan would really be the right thing to do right now. Hopefully we can kind of survive off these two rides, and I think at some point soon we'll be putting down some shops and facilities for the guests. We've got a decent queue scenery rating for both of these rides. I tried to go as cheap as I could while still getting enough to where we can up the price of them a little bit. I'm just going to raise them both by $2. And this whirly rig ride I've had some crazy success with. There was one career mode that I was playing before I started recording videos, and I think I was charging like $12 for this ride, and people were just packed up for it. So that is a really good one. It's only 760, I believe, to drop initially. Yep, 760. So whenever that one's available, I try to get that one on board as soon as I can. I'm gonna go ahead and drop a couple shops. Looks like it's a donut shop and coffee shop. Let's see how much they started off them as. 150. Staff energy is disabled, so that's good. And we've already got a theft. I feel like there's going to be some catch to this level with the way guests are behaving, or possibly thievery, vendors quitting, something else besides just this plain attract guests and get a scenery rating. That's about it. I think there's more to this level than they tell you. I'm going to go ahead and get a janitor as well. And I'm going to go ahead and add in a bathroom. It's interesting they give you the staff building when the energy features are disabled. I'm just going to place that without scenery for now, and we can add a building later to it. So we're 10 days into April, and it looks like we're coming close to breaking even, hopefully. I can go ahead and up the interface so you guys can see everything a little better. Forgot about that earlier. Alright, so I'm going to let this one run. I'm going to try to just add a little basic scenery to the bathroom, and I'll see you guys in a sec. Ooh, mic level. Alright, so I got just a little bit added onto that bathroom. It seems like the festive theme kit, you could kind of go crazy spending a ton of time doing a ton of different details. The kit looks like it's a ton of tiny parts. So obviously my building doesn't compare to the pre-made one, but it is just a bathroom, and we're here to beat career mode. So I'm noticing there's a lot of litter up in this front area. Not sure where our janitor is. Let's go check on that. So he's got a high workload, so I'm going to go ahead and hire a second janitor. Last month I think made just like 86 bucks. I did up the cost of both the rides by just a little bit more. See, the whirly rig's at $8 now, and still got a few people saying it's really good value. That is dropping though, so I'm going to leave it for now. I'm going to go ahead and drop in some park bins and also benches. Kind of forgot about that at the early stages. Alright, we're not bringing in a whole lot of money. I'm going to check the rides individually. It does look like they're making a few hundred a month. Whirly rig's doing a little better. See if we can afford another ride. I don't think we really can right now, other than the teacups. Teacups is quite large. It'll kind of fit in this little pocket. I had originally set it so that the path could go the opposite way too, so it could kind of open up and make a oval shape. So we'll place the teacups and hopefully get a little bit more income coming in. So I thought I was doing that path a little bit wider than the other one. It's alright. Just kind of merge them up. So I need to extend the other one first. I think that gives a nice effect. I think here soon I'm going to have to hire a mechanic. Take that right by the house, hopefully grab a little bit of scenery from it. Sweet, I got 100%. Go ahead and open up the teacups. Start it off at 550 and see how the crowd takes to it. Looks like our paths are much cleaner now. Check the workload. I'm gonna go ahead and train a couple people while I have a little bit of money, cash money. And now that his workload's normal, I think if we just bump them up $5, that'll probably be good enough for them. I'm gonna bump up the guys I trained as well. And I'm gonna let it sit for a little while, hopefully bring in a little bit of cash. Might take a few months. And so I'm gonna just let you guys zip right through this. Alright, so I came back just a second earlier. I was waiting around and I decided to go check some scenery, and we don't even have bushes available. So we're gonna go ahead and start some research, and hopefully we have no scenery. Man, we can't even get a bush in this level. Alright, so I do want to get some research going anyways. Classic cars. Back to the 80s. That one sounds pretty interesting. I'm not sure what coaster that is. Coasters are a little expensive to research, so I'm going to wait till we get one coaster down and get some revenue off of that one before researching the coaster. I think I'll go ahead and research a thrill ride and an ATM. I think those are a couple good ones to start off on. So I'm pretty bummed I can't even place bushes around my teacups. That's something I do notoriously, is surround it with bushes. So maybe I'll find something else to put around there while we're waiting for a little bit more cash to come in. Alright, we just had our first ride break, so I just hired a mechanic, and hopefully he is on his way soon. Doesn't look like he's doing his job very well right now. What is he doing? Oh, he's gonna inspect that one before fixing the other one. Oh, that's alright, he's on his way now. Now we're coming up close to 2,000. Might be enough to buy another ride. Now we're getting halfway through on the loan. We're actually coming up close to being able to just pay it off. So once we're able to pay that off, I think I'm just going to go ahead and... Did I get it? Nope, got it. Alright, it's flexing back and forth. Alright, and we beat the gold level objective, and that's going to wrap up this episode. Oh, we got other objectives. That's right. So we're going to keep working at it. I'm going to let the cash build back up now that we don't have that loan going, and then look at possibly putting down a more exciting ride, and then possibly after that trying to build a coaster. So I'm going to let it sit for another few minutes. We'll be right back. Alright, so it doesn't look like our profit was really moving very quickly, so I'm going to change course and I'm going to add a loan and build a coaster, and hopefully we can get back some money off of that coaster. So I'm going to go ahead and pause while I get all this set. so that way we're not paying on the loan during this build process. I am actually just going to use one of the pre-made coasters that I made in the Compact Coaster series. So if you want to go see me build this coaster, you can check that out in one of my other videos. The basis of that whole series is to build rides for career mode that are priced within $7,500. So that way we know that we've got a cheap ride to just place right into our level, and we know it's going to be good. So I was going to try to fit this one in. I'm not sure if the way the terrain is permitting I'll be able to really place it. Alright, get that one down. I'm going to go ahead and move out some terrain first, and I'll speed through this portion. Alright, so we're back after doing a little bit of terrain editing, and I also edited the color scheme of the ride to kind of try to better match this winter wonderland. I did thought I'd choose a lighter gray there. Anyways, let's go ahead and just take this one for a test. Nice little ride. I like it quite a lot, and it's got decent results. So we'll open this one up and go ahead and upcharge it a little bit. Let's start it out. I'm gonna go bold and go for 14 on this one. I did drop a little house here, and that was enough to get us 100% Q rating. So I do think people will buy into it at 14. Our teacups are not doing very well. I guess $7 was a little too much. We'll drop the price on that. I think while we were going through in hyperspace, all the rides became not new, so we needed to lower the prices just a little bit. We still got 2,700, but it is on a loan. We could build on thrill ride, perhaps. It would basically run us dry, though. That one is way too large, and that one doesn't fit in that space either. I kind of feel like I'm going to have to end up putting shops there to fill that space. I don't think much else will do the trick there. I've never built one of these sundials, so I would like to get that one built. It does look like it holds a ton of people, so that might be a good one to traffic income with. That would end up using all the remaining cash. Since we did get a coaster down, I'm going to go ahead and start researching the other coaster to see what we've got available now. The forge, and of course, the ATM. So we'll start on the Back to the 80s coaster. I'm interested to see which one that is. And check our potential income on this one. It's almost 1,000. That's pretty decent. They are saying it's got good value. So since it's the only coaster now, we'll go to 16 and see how it lasts at that cost. So your teacups is not doing good. Not very many people are wanting to ride it. Perhaps we can try putting down a sign and advertising for it. We have no blank signs. We do have these festive wall art signs. Perhaps those you can assign. Got one built on this building, you can see real quick. It does not look like you can choose a destination for those. Let's see if I can just drop a random thing. Does it have... Okay, so we can use a water bottle to advertise for the teacups. So we'll do that, and I'm going to break it away from the building so we can move it somewhere else. Not a very good spot to put this since we don't have a whole lot of scenery up. Yeah, perhaps I'll just drop it there for now, hopefully, and it'll serve its purpose in the background. Seems like we lost some guests overall, so we've got some more coming in. Oh, and another thing I noticed with this level, the ground is not level, so a lot of the rides have this weird clipping with the path and the ride. So if you're starting this level out soon by yourself, make sure to just hold the shift key and bump these off the ground just a smidge, and you can avoid that problem there. Of course, I think I could just go ahead and with the terrain and bump those down. Perhaps not, though. Alright, getting close to 5,000 now. I think we can go ahead and drop that sundial. And I do kind of want it, you know, in between the two flat areas. So I guess I'll place it right about there. Can't decide if I want the entrance. I guess I should just go ahead and get it to the lower side. I was thinking about having it start off in the upper level here and go ahead and connecting the path and getting people to walk through. Take a quick tour through the cave. I mean, it's pretty cool, but I think it's just a long ways for guests to walk at this pace. I think, you know, just a quick swoop up the hill would probably be a better option, at least initially. So I think for the sundial, put the entrance over here. And I'll put the exit right where I think I'm going to pull the path upwards. And they even change path textures there. just go ahead and back up just a little bit. I was not liking the way that was sitting there at all, so I'm going to do a quick terrain edit. And I'm going to use the flatten to foundation. And I'm actually going to keep it small for a second so I can get this to be the same level there. And I'll open that up. I think it was about that size. Let's check on that. Yeah, that was an alright guess. And let's go ahead and work this path here. I do want to kind of have a fork style path. I think that it might actually be as high as we need to go. Grab a little bit more of the terrain off. And then this time with the path, I'll start on this side. Wasn't super loving the way that one was looking. That gives me an idea. I'll just make the terrain slope. This time we'll use the flatten to surface. That was not shallow enough. Alright, there we go. That should give me a smoother path coming up, and I do like the way that path turned out. So go ahead and wrap the edge of that sundial just a little bit. And go ahead and get the entrance and exit queued up for this one. Oh, I forgot, with the new update, the paths have auto flattening terrain and stuff. I'll have to get used to using that. So I'm used to doing it the manual way. Alright, open that one. Now I'm going to drop a little blueprint building. Maybe not such a little one. I'll add the festive house over here. And since that's got a sweet little walkway, we're going to move the path on this one. If I can remember, there it is. So we'll set the entrance out over here. There we go. And since, well, I'll leave the path long. I usually don't do long queues because people tend to get kind of angry when they're waiting for a long time. But since this one holds so many people, I'll leave that one long for now. I'll raise a little bit of the snow here so we don't have a floating building. Alright, and got some people look like they're heading that way now. I think it'll be a minute before people are really riding this one. I'm going to leave it at 7 for the time being. Alright, so we're finally bringing in quite a bit of profit. That was 6,000 last month. I think it is, yes, due solely to the Blizzard ride, formerly known as Tsunami, as seen in the Coaster Challenge series. They're still saying it's good value, so we'll bump that one up to 17. And our loan's doing fairly well. Go ahead and bump it up to, we'll do 2,000 a month, just so we're not paying so much in interest. Hopefully soon we'll be able to just pay that one off. Oh man. Whew. That was a good catch. I didn't want to waste any more money on that. That's not the loan. I was wondering why I didn't have the payoff button. Alright, so I'll just go ahead and bump that up to the 1,000 to pay that off. Yep, I guess that seems right. I just figured the amount to pay should have been less, but I forgot we had it paused for a little while. I'm also just going to go ahead and speed this game back up. Maybe wait just a little bit longer, and perhaps we can build one of the other coasters. I think this one will end up fitting in maybe this space nicely. But we'll look at that when we have actually got the cash to do so. We did just pass our 800 guests. So guest-wise, the last thing we've got is 1,600, and then also our scenery rating. So I guess I'm just going to let this one sit for a little while. We'll build up a little bit more cash, and I'm just going to drop some random scenery around and hopefully kind of work on that objective. Alright, we just got to the bronze objective, and let's see, what was the scenery on that one? A 50, and we're almost to the 100 mark now. All I did was do a little choke in the path here to add that little underpass thing, dropped 2 pre-made buildings, and that was all it took to pass the bronze objective. We're getting some more security complaints, so we'll go ahead and just hire another security guard. His workload is good, but he can always use some extra help. Usually don't hire entertainers, but we'll hire one for this level just because. And I was gonna actually go in and edit this building to have a shop opening, possibly a second shop opening in the portion there to try to entice people to use this side of the walkway more, since it seems to be heavily one-sided. Also, I might add in a little extra pathway here since it's kind of congested, kind of try to make this a little plaza area. But I will speed through on this portion. Alright, just another quick snippet I noticed, so maybe something you could avoid in your playthrough is the picnic tables and such will not place on anything except for perfectly level path. I don't see why it wouldn't be able to place here, but any of these paths you cannot put picnic places, and I think there was one path, yep, right here, where I guess it's level enough to be placed. So that was a little bit disappointing. I like to kind of put a couple picnic areas in these little plaza things. But all I did while we were gone was just put a center path there to kind of free up some of that walkway, added some more benches, and then adapted this building to have a couple shops and the ATM as well. We're sitting at 14,000 now, so we have plenty of money to just place scenery and finish out that goal. So the attract 1,600 guests is really what's left to be done here. Let's go ahead and check on our research. Back to the 80s is available. The equalizer. I was not expecting that one, but I guess in hindsight I should have been. Don't think we have quite enough cash to build the equalizer. I also don't think it's necessary for this playthrough. But that was quite funny to see pop up. Anyways, we've got this ride. I'm gonna go ahead and place that one. I think it ended up kind of fitting that area fairly nicely. Oh right, this one's going on the inside. I keep forgetting about that every time I place this ride. Let me check. I'm going to go in and edit the track. I think I've got this one, the path going in one way out the other. That was not the case, because I do have room to come out on this side, so we shall do that. And go ahead and place the entrance and exit, and we'll give this one a ride. I'm going to hit test first. Now we'll give it a ride. Oh man, super ride. I think I'll edit this one and see if I can add in a block section here real quick. Unfortunately, in the coaster challenge, the limit is 7,500, and I definitely pushed the budget to the max on this coaster, so I was not able to insert a block break section. I think I'm going to come off the back here for the block section. And then get rid of that one, and we'll connect that up. I think that's still enough room to get the path under here as well. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and just connect this path up real quick. Yep, just barely high enough. That's alright. That makes for a good queue line. It doesn't actually affect the rating, of course, but I like to think it would be pretty cool to watch a coaster go over you while you're waiting in line. That was interesting. Did not expect it to be obstructed like that. Alright, we'll do some stairs then. That was giving me a little hard time. This one's almost ready to open. We have to keep testing it because we did not open up the block break section. That's the sundial. And actually I'm going to edit this one more time to up the release speed and acceleration and add in the catwalk. Alright, we'll speed test this one. And while that's testing, get some terrain editing going on. I think the other nice thing about placing rides in terrain like this is when you go back and mold the terrain to the ride, it looks like it's in a natural habitat kind of thing, and I think it ends up making the rides look a lot nicer just when they're kind of forming around the terrain, just like this little loophole here. I can kind of bump that up a little bit. I'm gonna take out some more here and there. Maybe raise a little bit. I really think terrain is nearly as important as scenery to get used to and making a ride look good. Anyways, enough of that. I'm gonna get this thing open and making some money. I'm gonna start off at 15. I did not check the Q rating. It's probably 0. It is 0. This one might be a little interesting to actually get some scenery in there. I don't think any of the buildings would fit. And perhaps this building would fit kind of here. I think that'll end up looking good once I edit it a little bit. Oh no, it's not a building. Oh man, that sucks. Okay, let's try to edit this in some other manner, I guess. Try group selecting and moving this off the ground a little bit. It's like I missed a piece of roof trim. It's alright, I would just move that. I can't believe this wasn't a building. Alright. I'm just gonna Control X to edit these. One at a time since it's not a building. I really wish in some update that will give the multi-select tool the ability to copy. I found numerous times where I wish I could window select to copy something. And in this version, you cannot. You can delete and move though, so at least we got that going for us. I think that looks pretty neat, and let's go ahead and get out of window select and check. That did 50%, just that little thing on the Q rating. I'd say that's a good one to buy, especially starting off. Got a good height on it. Could probably drop it a little bit, but I'm not going to be too picky. Let's get another building down. I think I'll do that festive house again. Wow, this one's not a building either. Man. So that got us to 100. And let's check one last thing about the cost. Nope, nothing about they want to pay more or less. We are getting some trash up here. I don't have any bins, and I think it's time for another janitor. It's like somebody threw up. I guess it's the sundial that's making them throw up. Well, I guess this ride is fairly nauseating. Nope, it's not. It must be the sundial. Nevertheless, we'll get some trash bins in here. And the reason I was looking at the nauseating ratings was we can add in a first aid station up here somewhere. I'm going to try to grab a pre-made building and adapt that for the first aid station. Alright, and dropping that building, got all of our scenery stuff done. I'm going to go ahead and start some advertising campaigns, since the last thing we've got to do is bring in guests. I'm going to look at our demographic just to see where I might want to target my advertising, and I thought that this would be a more family-oriented park, but it seems like teens and adults would be probably the target to go for. So we'll do some 5,000. Yeah, we've got the cash. We'll do some commercials. And an online campaign for more adults and less families. I'm going to start researching. That's fantastic. Do have another coaster taking a stand. To start researching it just because if we've got to wait on guests, we could always build a coaster while we're waiting. Give us something fun to do. So I'm going to edit up this building real quick and just kind of let it sit for a little while. I'll see you guys in a few. Alright, just to catch you guys up, we added in the first aid station. There was a couple of things going on with the staff. We had one person quit. It seems like in this setup, the vendors tend to get fairly unhappy, and so I would focus on training and giving them raises and pay attention to them in your playthrough. The janitors, mechanic, and security guard all seem to be pretty content with just their base pay and base amount. Well, I did give the janitors a $5 raise, and they've been happy the whole game. We're sitting at 40,000, and we're getting really close to 1,600, so might as well go ahead and build a ride. See if our stand-up one's ready. Not quite. I was actually going to look at just building one of the equalizer rides. The thing is way too big, so I guess we'll look at building our own, and we'll probably end up hitting our objective in the meantime. So I'll speed it up, and hopefully we'll finish this coaster and meet our last objective. Alright, just finished up this ride. Well, not finished, but we got the track complete, so we'll take it for a test. I'm kind of worried along the backside we might not carry enough speed And I really kind of, I don't know, had a lack of ideas for the backside. So maybe we'll change it depending on how it runs through. I wasn't trying to really build like a super awesome ride here. I did want to just go through the scenery and get a few good drops in. I need to edit that last little bit. That was really close. The head chopper, for sure. Well, we did make it through the ride. Interesting to see what these test results might be. Kind of thinking we had some dull spots, but also maybe some high nausea spots or high fear spots. I'll take a quick look at the maps here. Kind of maybe make a couple of adjustments. We haven't really grown any on the guests, so that's a little interesting. Might have to work on something else. It was kind of spread out how I was thinking it would be. It's not so bad. I think I'll just end up smoothing out bits of the track and basically calling it after that. Alright, so we just finished connecting up the path for the equalizer ride. Hopefully, it being smoothed out, it'll run a little better. Go ahead and take it for one more ride. And that one did seem to be a lot better than our first run. I forgot to add the block car, so it'll be testing for another few minutes, and we've actually dropped about 100 guests since we started building that ride. Looks like possibly like paths and that sort of thing being dirty might be causing them to leave or whatever. Got the Enigma. I'm not going to research anymore. I think I'm going to try to focus on guest happiness, marketing, and that sort of thing to try to really pull the guests in, possibly some more scenery to get our park rating up. So we're going to hire some more janitors. Make sure we're keeping this place really tidy. We've got 2 security guards, but I think I'm going to grab one more. I noticed that we had some guests that were thirsty during that build. So I'm going to add another pair of the festive themed shops. I'm going to get them up here in this area. I think right about here seems about as good a place as any. I do think I'm going to go ahead and just real quickly edit these and swap them for something else. Let's see, I don't think we have done the water one or the smoothies, so we'll put those in. Alright, we can open the equalizer. Not fantastic results, but that's alright. Let's go in for more of the scenic view at the top. I'm going to place some more buildings just to kind of get the rating up. That's an interesting looking house. Just see where we could add that one in. Just add it over there for now. If we keep going that way with some other rides later. I think that's the exact same house as the other one there. So I'll do a different one. Our teacups is doing very well now, I will say. I don't know if it is because of the water bottle or not. In case you forgot, we had added this one, the water bottle here, to have an advertising destination for the teacups. I haven't done a whole lot of work with signs and advertising, but it seems like that one's working pretty well right now. So sundials, having a full queue. Let's see how this one's doing. The Blizzard's doing fantastic. So we're at 15, 18 guest-wise. Let's look at some of our research is going. They are checked for auto-renew, so we don't really need to check on those, I guess. Perhaps we could get another thrill ride down. Maybe we could get the Derby. Maybe we could do the Derby inside here. That'd be totally rad. So I'm gonna start busting out some terrain and we'll look at doing that. Well, I'm get my camera straight here. Oh, and well, so much for getting to place the Derby. We just got 1,601 guests into the park. We finished this one with a little over 50,000 in the bank, cash money. And so that technically wraps up the episode. I am going to go ahead and put these Derby cars in here. entrance down there and the exit there. Oh, the lights are locked, so they're floating. Oh well, I didn't think those would have been locked, but they are. I bet I can't even get one of those lights either. Heck no. Okay, well, it is what it is. We'll just queue up the path here. Didn't mean to do the S, just kind of happened. But it looks pretty sweet. Add in a couple rocks since there's no bushes. Not that I'd add a bush anyways. Still feel upset over that. Maybe I can do this. Now it's at least slightly believable. Alright, there we go. Get them bumper cars going in there. Alright, so that is going to officially conclude this episode of Planet Coaster Career Mode. This was the beginning and the hard series. I didn't quite frankly think this one was deserving of one of the hard levels. It was pretty straightforward. I'd say this one, just kind of build your typical build and you'd probably be alright. Just watch, maybe the vendors are a little bit tricky, and then do some advertising at the end. Maybe that's where they were kind of wanting you to bring your focus was into the advertising portion and working with a new scenery kit. It does seem like each level kind of builds a new skill as you're kind of going along, and I don't think marketing's really been a big factor until now. So perhaps that is what they were going for as far as development goes. But thanks for watching in this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned a little bit. Have fun in your own career mode. Love to hear from you in the comments, and I will see you in the next episode where we'll tackle the second hard level in career. Thanks for watching, guys.